Hello and welcome to this special edition of the Sheffield Hopcast, which for the first time is brought to you sat in a field. It is currently it's Saturday afternoon. It feels like Sunday for me because I was here yesterday, so we are at Peakender. I'm James, and my first day was yesterday, which was Friday. Adam's here, and you've been here for what, a couple of hours?
Yeah, came about 1 o'clock maybe, got parked up, camped, went to see the Beer O'Clock Show guys, do the interview with Thornbridge, which was really insightful, so really interested to hear that back next week. So yeah, we've also found a gym.
We found a gym. So Laura is here, but we can't find her, so we thought we'll do what we always do when we can't find Laura. We just wheel her husband out as a substitute. Hi, Jim.
Hello, and I'm just eating round a sausage.
Well, there we go. It's an image that I'm sure you have in your mind now. Jim, how's your weekend been so far? You were here yesterday. We shared quite a few drinks yesterday afternoon, and you did your Meet the Brewer talk. How did that go?
Went really well. We had a good number of people who were all really had a good set of questions. Sometimes you end up doing a Meet the Brewer talk where you're just explaining the basics about brewing, whereas actually there were so many insightful questions about about our industry, about our brewery, and about what we're doing. So it was a good blend of questions and a good blend of people who are really, really interested.
I don't know if you can shed any light on this, but there's been a bit of talk on Twitter this morning. There may have been an incident last night with an internationally renowned figure in the beer world who may have been involved in an accident involved jumping over some hay bales. Can you shed any light on this one?
It happened, yes. So Matt from Walkden had a slight incident and ended up in Chesterfield Royal Hospital. Surely I shouldn't laugh, I know, but I am. Yeah, so he may well have just dislocated his shoulder, but he may well have also fractured. It's that much fun that, accidents may happen.
That's fine. That's what you drink beer. These things happen. You know. I'm sure he didn't feel very much pain at the time. I've had quite a few beers over the course of the weekend already. Adam, you've had lesser, but in a bit we're going to meet up with the Beer O'Clock Show guys we'll reflect on and see what they thought and how things went with their live show that they did with the kind of leading figures from Thornbridge earlier this morning. So we'll chat to them about that and find out what their favourite beers of the weekend so far have been. And then I think maybe we should, a couple of hours or so, give you a chance to get some more beers inside you and see what your favourites are. In the meantime, do you want to kind of just give us a quick, just for a minute, paint the picture of the scene in front of us and what the showground looks like today?
Yep. So if you kind of got all around, you've got kind of hillside, you've got trees in front of us. You've got a nice little stage, there's some nice chilled out music. You've got hay bales, you've got people sat down enjoying the sun. You've got kids, you've got babies, you've got families just all sat around. Nice weather, nice food, 2 different bars. I basically started on a Jaipur, then got given a bottle of Jaipur, so I'm double Jaipur to start, which is always a bit scary. Very busy bar, lots of beers already gone. I'm hoping they're going to get kind of replaced pretty soon and we can get back on the rest of them, but and the sun has definitely improved in the last hour or two since I arrived, so looking forward to the rest of the weekend.
Good point about the weather, by the way. Today is absolutely glorious. Now, yesterday there were people fighting over blankets because it was that cold. Certainly kind of got towards 6, 7, 8 o'clock last night. Jim will back me up on this. It was freezing, wasn't it?
I was still in shorts, but yeah, it was cold.
You're more of a man than I am.
Jim, are you ever not in shorts?
When I'm wearing the requisite PPE at work, no, I'm not. Always in shorts.
So what a great brewer answer that was. Hopefully in a bit we'll catch up with Laura as well and find out kind of what beers she's enjoyed. She's off wedding dress shopping at the moment in somewhere or other. We'll maybe try and catch up and have a chat with 1 or 2 people as well. Maybe catch up with a couple of people from Thornbridge who are here and just get their take on how the weekend's gone so far. I mean, we're barely halfway through the weekend, to be fair. In the next kind of 5-10 minutes we're going to go across and meet with the Beer O'Clock Show guys. So we'll head over and speak to them.
So Adam here from Sheffield Hopcast with James, and we've got 2 guys from Beer O'Clock Show, Steve and Martin. How you doing?
Hi, we're good, thanks. Yourselves?
Good. Good weather?
Oh, it's lovely. Just sitting here getting really crispy in a field at the moment.
So it's 3 o'clock. So 2 hours ago, you've done your kind of maybe your biggest public podcast you've ever done. Is it your first public podcast?
It's my first public podcast, but not Steve's.
No, we did 4 live shows as the Beer O'Clock show, which were fairly. I mean, they were small affairs because they were in a bottle shop, so it was like 15 people tops. But this was the first time that we've done it on this sort of scale in terms of the amount of people in the room and managing the room and managing the interactions between us and the audience.
So how did you find it then? I was in the audience. You got there. Sort of...
I was a little bit late. I got on the wrong bus. I ended up in Chatsworth. Don't want to talk about it. Let's just move on.
Yeah, it was good. I think personally I found that you got some nice things out. If not just you, but obviously people asking the questions. We got some nice insights out of Thornbridge, which have never been fully, on audio, I suppose.
Yeah. So far they've not asked us to edit anything out, so which is a good thing. But yeah, I mean, our approach going into it was that we were just going to essentially facilitate the discussion between the audience and the guys in Thornbridge. So our job was to manage that and make sure there were questions coming through and the guys were comfortable with answering. So and that seemed to work really well.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice that they were open as well. They were probably more open than I thought they were going to be. They were quite happy to take the mic. I know, Rob looked like he never wanted to take it, but once he had it,
He didn't want to let it go.
No, he didn't want to let it go. The answers flowed, didn't it?
Did Rob ever look up?
No, but to be fair, apart from for the purpose of podcasting, that's fine.
As long as your mouth's in the direction of the microphone, yeah.
There was a really good question at the end, which I've got to mention because it came from kind of one of our own, someone from Sheffield, Jules from Hop Hideout, who asked if Thornbridge were a band, what band would they be, and if Jaipur was a song, what song would it be? And they didn't really answer it. Simon said Stone Roses. I mean, can we also have to come up with some ideas between us as to if Thornbridge were a band, what band would they be?
Personally, even though they are actually not in the same county as us, they are affiliated with Sheffield, and I think the other Simon is a massive Sheffield Wednesday fan like us. I think he lives in Sheffield. I'm pretty much sure a lot of the people who actually brew there are kind of affiliated with Sheffield. So I was trying to think of Sheffield bands really, and it's difficult. Do you go kind of more modern? Do you go old? Do you go pulp? Do you go Arctic Monkeys? Do you go?
See, I was thinking Arctic Monkeys. I don't know why. It's just quite cool, but actually got some lodging. Can't say that word. Longevity? That's not a word, is it?
Saying that, actually, I was working at HMV when that first Arctic Monkeys album, I'm going to say dropped because I'm a cool kid. But now that kind of the impact of that, based on what had kind of come out of Sheffield for the last few years, I mean, pulp had kind of phased out. Maybe Arctic Monkeys was that. It's like a big impact, big bang, and maybe they are the Arctic Monkeys.
Maybe boys, what do you reckon? If Jaipur was a song, what song would it be?
I'm going to go for the band and the song, and I think I'm going to go if Thornbridge were a band, they'd be Oasis, and I think the song would be Live Forever.
Hey.
Wow, that's deep. I like that.
Yeah.
Martin?
I can't top that. You git.
I'm really sorry. That literally just came to me in that moment. Those two just work perfectly.
That's good.
Should we talk a little bit about beer? Because you both have a pint in your hand, which is better than us because we gave up at the bar and went to the can bar instead because the queue was so big. So what have you? There we go.
I like that.
It's the necessary podcast sound. What have you had so far that you've liked? I don't know.
We've had exclusively one beer since we've been here, which is variations of Jaipur. So up until now we've been drinking cask Jaipur, and we've just switched to the keg version only because the cask version is kicked.
Yeah, the cask version's gone. The queue has got quite long. For anyone who hasn't been here, it doesn't feel busy until you queue for the bar.
Yeah.
It's quite well spread out, isn't it, here at Peakender? But the bar queue is now quite lengthy.
I think we're keen to try and get to it. It was interesting because obviously all the beer lists started going online in the week, and the last one to be publicised was the actual Thornbridge list itself. And then when they put that list up, it was like you looked at it and you was like, you start questioning, well, why do you bother inviting any other breweries when you can put up that many beers? That was that many beers of your own that are so good that I want to try all of the Thornbridge beers before I even want to start thinking about what other breweries are here.
No, I thought they were trolling me because they had no cask dry pour advertised. So I thought they were taking the piss.
One thing I was thinking is like I've always said this a lot of times. We're quite spoilt with Thornbridge.
Yeah.
So Thornbridge is like, as much as you will drink it, and you'll probably drink it more in pubs that aren't your kind of really good crafty or cask beer pubs, because you think, well, I know I can get that, so let's try something else. If you're a bit of a beer ticker or what the modern equivalent to, maybe you just avoid Thornbridge for that reason, that you know you're going to get it again quite quick. If I live down south or Eastern or wherever.
Around close to that answer, Adam,
Oh yeah, no, that's pretty good. Well then,
People have just realised.
I think that is we are spoilt, so I think our view of Thornbridge is kind of blinkered a little bit. I think.
Yeah, you could be right.
Do you going back to that point then, do you think that, because for me down south and for Steve as well in Essex, I work in London, if I see Thornbridge I'm on it straight away because I hardly ever see it. Bottles, I can get it anywhere.
No, I think we're really complacent because we've got, I mean, where I live, I've got a Thornbridge pub 5 minutes up the road in one direction, a Thornbridge pub 20 minutes up the road in the other direction. So pretty much anything that Thornbridge bring out I'm going to be able to get on predominantly keg or whatever format it comes out on within a 20-minute walk of my house. And that's almost like become a given now. Maybe we don't realise how lucky we are, because there's not much stuff that Thornbridge bring out that you can't get in Sheffield pretty easily.
The thing is, there's loads of stuff, especially on the actual cask, and we spoke to Simon Webster the other day, and the point I made was that there's beers that come out from Thornbridge that are not publicised at all, and you literally go to a bar and go, what's that? And he's like, yeah, there's loads that they just put out there just to suit the local community essentially. And obviously they don't bottle everything. They're not like when the people who will, like Verdant or Cloudwater, just literally just bottling every single thing they do. They've got a core range which then they'll kind of go, actually that worked pretty well. Let's put that into a maybe in bottle. Maybe that will go core range. See how it goes, kind of thing. You've got Green Mountains in bottles now, which is going on for can. They're not on the Florida Vice, but that is kind of going to can. There's lots of things like the Cocoa, or whatever, and loads of stuff that we get up here. It's just, you see it everywhere because we've got lots of bottle shops, we've got lots of Thornbridge pubs, and pubs that do stock Thornbridge beers who aren't Thornbridge pubs. So, it's brilliant for us. But again, like I said, we don't run to Thornbridge because we've got it on tap.
We're spoiled.
Thornbridge is a rare beast in Essex. You'll maybe get it in the occasional spoons who might have cask of Jaipur or something that they'll put on. Occasionally we'll see the odd cask in the ale house. We'll have a cask of the beer on, but yeah, if you see it, it's a case of, I'm having a pint of that. That's going to be my first beer tonight.
I think we probably don't appreciate the fact that there is a north-south divide when it comes to beer, because some of the stuff that we get up here, I think probably even some of the Cloudwater stuff probably doesn't get down quite as far. Where again, it's the thing that we pretty much every beer shop in Sheffield will stock pretty much every new release that Cloudwater bring out. And I think it's, from what I'm told, it's a little bit more difficult the further south you go to get hold of some of their new stuff. Sean,
who does the podcast with us, who owns a bottle shop, Beer Central, he was saying that he can order something on a new release Thursday and get it the next Monday or Tuesday. He says that's not the case for someone down London. Then they have to use a different sort of sub-distributor or whatever like that, or a kind of warehouse that kind of gets that. So, being sort of 30 miles or half an hour, 40 minutes from Manchester, and that to Leeds as well, essentially. We've not got as many kind of progressive breweries as local cities, but they're close.
I don't know about that, because we have some really good breweries down south, but I would say over the last 2 years it's the north of England which has really been hitting the headlines, I think. Whether that be places like Cloudwater, Wylam, especially with the Northern Powerhouse series recently, the north really has sparked interest for people, and I think down south we actively look for the northern beers now, and we trust them as well. So if one of the breweries like say Northern Monk bring out a beer, we'll go for it. Cloudwater bring out beer. Massive fan of their small beer series. I think it's amazing. I think they've nailed it. That style of beer that they've got works so well in that 3% range, and we will lap it up now. Obviously, Cloudwater are planning to open somewhere in London anyway, aren't they? So we will have a bit more, on tap to coin a phrase. So looking forward to that. But yeah, I can see why Northern Monk wants to open up down there, because Northern beers do have a big cachet down south now.
It's funny because I've got the advantage that I was here yesterday, where it was a lot quieter, so I got through quite a lot of beer yesterday. And for once, and Adam will confirm this is true, it's probably the first and only time that I've ever actually made notes of the beers that I enjoy. Because there are lots of beers that I enjoy, I can never remember any of them. So I made notes of them all, and just looking back at them, they are all pretty much Northern beers. So the Northern Monk Patrons Project City of Industry, and if anyone's had any of these, then holler. That was good. The Magic Rock collaboration with Verdant, What Are the Odds? That was really good yesterday. Really enjoyed that. I assume that there was probably only one keg of that and it's gone, but that was good. And then 4 really good Thornbridge beers yesterday. So Days of Creation, which has been around for a while, which is the raspberry barrel aged beer.
I just wonder if that's one that just keeps getting better.
Well, it's last time I had it, it's changed again. It's different now. It tastes different, and that was good. I made the mistake of having that about probably 5 o'clock, and you think, where do I go after this? What do you follow that with? Because it's such a deep beer. Do you know what? I can't remember. It's 7%. My memory after that is very hazy.
Remembering things.
2 others. So I don't know if you've had either of these two. So Lucaria. Is it Lucaria or Lusaria? The two versions of it. So I had both of them yesterday, the salted caramel and the strawberry. Salted caramel by far and away works better. That's not to say that the strawberry one didn't work, but that kind of fruit with a dark beer is a difficult thing to pull off. And they did an all right job, to be fair. It was nice. It tasted like, those little strawberry chocolates you get in the roses, strawberry delight or whatever it's called. Tasted like that.
Well, I think that beer's been out for a while, because it was actually a collaboration with the Grove, which was at Huddersfield pub originally for the original Lucaria, and I think they did one version recently, which was like I remember the strawberry one, and then since then they've gone, people seem to be liking this, so it's becoming a mini series, and that's why now you've got the sort of caramel one. So watch this space. I would imagine there's going to be 1 or 2 more in that range.
That sort of caramel version, I had it at London Craft Beer Festival, and it was on cask there, and it actually stained my glass in terms of the aroma. I had to take my glass to the nearest water point and actually scrub it to try and get all of the aroma out, because literally the 2 beers that I had after it just smelled like salted caramel. And I was just like, this is killing every beer I put in this glass. I've got to go and clean this glass up, and that's the mark of a good beer, isn't it? Is that it? Yeah.
I mean, yesterday we were joking yesterday about the fact if you ordered the salted caramel, you could, as they were pouring it, you could smell it. The aroma was coming over the bar as they were actually pulling the pint. And that's remarkable. I often get a bit frustrated with beers that are supposed to be a certain flavour that you just don't get enough of the flavour from it. I mean, no such problem with that.
Salted caramel is always I've always found it a difficult flavour for beers to hit as well, because they either get the sweetness of the caramel without the salt, or it's too salty without the sweetness. But for me, it was that perfect balance. It was like drinking a salted caramel millionaire sort of like shortcake thing. It was everything you wanted in that flavour at that time.
Well, I'd argue that some chocolate companies haven't got it right. Salted caramel has become the big thing in chocolate. I'd say some of them don't get it right. So for a brewery to nail that flavour in a beer, both with the taste and how it smells, is pretty damn good going. And the fact that I'm actually talking about salted caramel beer is something as well, isn't it? I mean, who would have thought 5 years ago you'd be saying, yeah, that's salted caramel beer, and it's like, you what?
Is there anything on your list that you definitely want to try while you're here today?
Well, I definitely want to do the Jaipur X, because I've only had it from the bottle before.
Because he's not had enough Jaipur up until this point.
And they've also, what's the 12%? I know it's the coconut stout, but I'm tempted to find out maybe they've dialed down the coconut, I'm hoping. But I'm fairly certain Michelle might go for the coconut one.
There were a few people that arrived at the same time that I did yesterday lunchtime. Their first pint was the 12% coconut.
Sorry, the pint. Wow.
Yeah, don't mess about a bit, mate.
No. Who says a north-south divide?
Don't think I would.
I must say I didn't notice them as it got into the evening. They didn't seem to be around. I'm not sure where they landed. Anything on your list?
No. Again, it's just that whole Thornbridge have got such a range here, and there's beers that you don't ever get to see outside of this area. So I'm just going to try and work my way through a few Thornbridge beers, and if I'm honest, I literally haven't even looked at what the other breweries have got on, because the Thornbridge list is so extensive.
That's a testament to Peakender, I suppose. And it's like for the people who are not doing that, and are not from around here, and then to not look at the other breweries and just basically look at Thornbridge, that's absolutely fantastic. I'm just going to try and get to the bar.
That's an actual achievement.
Right now.
And a final sort of question from me. Opinions. What does the future hold? What have you got on the on the agenda coming up, or do you just make it up as you go along?
Yes, we make it up as we go along. But no, just to be clear, Steve is always planning something. But the rest of this year, we've got there's obviously another couple of opinions on films coming out. So the next one being Highlander. Not revealing the one after that just yet, because Steve does like to build us up for those kind of things. And we've got just a couple of collaborations with people coming up as well.
Plus we've got the sour show coming up, which is you've been out and bought some sours to challenge me with.
You're just replaying our early episodes, basically.
Because I'm not a fan of the sour beers, so the challenge that I set to Martin was buy some beers that will convince me that sours are great. So he's been out and he's bought a few beers, and part of what we're going to try and do with that show is do a little bit of periscoping in between so people can see the reactions to the beers. But I'm quite keen that doesn't take away from the normal audio content that we do, and that we get carried away with the video content, because we don't have faces for television, hence why we do podcasting. So yeah, I'm actually quite looking forward to the sour show. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And Steve doesn't know any of the beers that are coming up on that one.
You'll have to whisper them to me and Adam afterwards, because we're both big sour fans, so I'd love to know what they are.
I'll tell you if you've done it right or wrong.
Well, guys, thank you very much. It's the first time that the four of us have all met, so it's been an absolute pleasure to meet you. Really enjoyed the bit with Thornbridge earlier on. I thought you did an excellent job. And yeah, I mean, the best of luck with opinions as things move forward, and let's hope this is not the last time that we manage to sit in a field and have a beer together.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
I was about to say the sun is shining, it's a glorious day, and literally the sun's just gone in as I was about to start that, so that's probably not the best way of starting this, but it's James here, and I've got a couple of people with me who, like me, have been here for the whole weekend so far. I have Simon, hello.
Hello.
And Vicky, hello.
Hello.
Now, there might be someone that's got really sharp ears that recognises that voice just from the hello. But yeah, tell us. Obviously, you're a podcaster as well. Just tell us about it.
Okay, yeah. So basically, Beers Without Frontiers is the podcast that we do. It's been running since January, and we are Midlands based. So we basically cover South Warwickshire, where we're based, and the kind of Birmingham kind of scene. So that's our thing, and we've been doing it for about 6 months now. Yep.
So obviously, you were here yesterday as well. It's a very different festival today to how it was yesterday. So at the moment, the rumour is the queue for the main bar is 45 minutes. Yesterday it was, about 45 seconds?
Yeah, it was definitely a lot easier yesterday. Today has been a bit of an event trying to get a beer. Just now, yeah, it was about 45 minutes, something like that, which is bordering on testing your patience a little bit. So I think it's just super popular today. I think maybe a lot of people here just for the day, maybe. I
think the probably the sunshine has a few people has just tipped them over the edge and thought, we'll go pay on the door and whatnot. Right, let's talk beer for a bit then. What's been your favourite beers that you've had so far over the course of the last couple of days?
Well, what was interesting for me was, so we did the run this morning, and we got a free beer at the end of that, and it was the Jaipur, and I was like, a bottle of Jaipur. I was like, oh yeah, this is good. Went on to Untapped, and I was like, wow, I've never had this before. It's just like, but yeah, that went down well. So
okay, just add to that. I like the way you flippantly said we did the run this morning. Yeah. So you, after a night on the beer and sleeping in a tent, you got up and did a 5k this morning.
Well, we didn't sleep in a tent. We've got a B&B.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So So and we tried to pace ourselves a bit yesterday as well, last night, so it wasn't, although I did end up on the 12% coconut porter as my nightcap last night, so yeah, this morning my head was a little bit but yeah.
I mentioned this earlier to the Beer O'Clock Show guys that when I got here yesterday, it was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and some of the people that arrived at the same time. That is it, 12% the that porter.
Yeah.
That was their first drink, and I said drink. Their first pint of the day was that.
Yeah.
It's I mean, that's a good nightcap beer. Probably not a good beer to start on. What have been your sort of beer highlights?
I think basically I've been kind of like trying various different things, and I've ended up actually preferring other people's beers when you just go, let's have a try of that. And I tried the 12% coconut porter that Vicky had, which is probably the best thing that I've tasted actually, and it wasn't my own beer. But that's good. But obviously Jaipur is here in all formats, which is always a kind of benchmark kind of beer. And what I'm drinking right now, the Ena Nitro Stout from Thornbridge, is also a cracking beer. Really good.
Very good beer. Very good beer. Obviously, you were in the tent for the Beer O'Clock Show live with the three guys from Thornbridge. What did you make of that? Obviously, there's a lot of stuff talked about. Interesting time at the moment for Thornbridge and for the industry.
I think it was great. I think it was effectively a celebration of Jaipur as being, as was discussed, pretty much a kind of, was it the definition of craft beer really, starting with Jaipur, which is open to debate a little bit, but I think it's certainly got a good claim to that. And yeah, it's just interesting to kind of hear about the history of Thornbridge and what they're doing, and obviously how this event has grown and grown. It's just got bigger and bigger year by year by the sounds of it. This is the first time we've been here, and I'm kind of super impressed with the location and just the laid back kind of atmosphere really. So yeah, it's all
Brill. And you thinking probably come back next year?
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah. I mean, obviously the outdoor festival weather has got a little bit to do with it, but I think today temperature's perfect. Like you said, the sun was out before we started recording, and now it's kind of gone in a little bit. But it's still
nice to have a little bit of respite,
yeah,
isn't it?
Exactly. I think that's it. If you think about what it's been like the last few weeks, when it's like just relentless sun, can you imagine that in a field where we would have been frazzled, and how much beer would we have wanted to drink? But yeah, this is kind of perfect in a way. What it would be like if it was chucking it down or whatever might be a different scenario. But no, it's such a laid back. Yes, okay, like we're all saying, it takes a little bit of time to get get the beers, because the bars are absolutely rammed, bless them, but it's just such a nice atmosphere. It's just, it's so nice and relaxed. It's a lovely part of the world, and it's just all good, isn't it? Yeah.
Ticks all the boxes pretty much really. It's one of those things where really it's kind of like a beer festival, but it's not a beer festival. It's this kind of strange hybrid between being kind of like some music stuff, events, food stuff, beer stuff, and all, as Vicky was saying, just in a great kind of environment really. Just you look around and you just sort of see the Peak District in all its glory. So yeah, thumbs up from us, definitely.
Brilliant, guys. It's been a pleasure. Lovely to meet you, and thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank you.
It is still Saturday afternoon. The sun is now back out. We had a little bit of a lull. Got a bit cloudy for a while. I'm now about an hour away from sunstroke, which will be fun for you two, because you're going to have to look after me. So Adam's here.
Yeah, I'm still drinking cans.
You're now on. Well, I mean, some people would say that you're breaking some cardinal rules now because you're on Beavertown.
Well, actually, this is like kind of my brother-in-law put he's got quite a few followers on Instagram, and he put a little thing out more recently about what people's thoughts were on the Beavertown thing, and it was about 80% still going to drink it. So, this is going from, it's not like a big kind of beery thing, but it's still people who follow him because he posts beer stuff, and maybe now the dust settled, people have kind of gone, yeah, fuck it,
Interestingly, I think Beavertown are actually doing a Meet the Brewer talk right now, and I can't see any kind of fire or anything, so I'm guessing it's going all right. We've been joined by hang on, I'm sorry, I'm distracted by... She's got amazing glasses going on here. So we've been joined by Laura. Hi.
Hello.
And you have... I commented on the last Hopcast about the fact you got new glasses. I didn't realise that they were, adaptable, so you've just clipped, some what, like sunglasses, like lenses to the front that just attach.
Clip-on sunglasses adapter. Probably doesn't sound very cool. I don't think it is very cool, but I quite like it.
I think it's cool as fuck, to be honest.
Yeah, and they fit in my bag. Don't have to carry a second pair of glasses around, and now I'm not squinting at you, which is nice for us both.
You might be, they just can't see that you're squinting at us anymore.
So Laura, you've been here since yesterday, like I have. What's been kind of the story of your Peakender? How's it gone?
It's going great so far. So I've had a bit of a strange Peakender, to be honest, because we got here yesterday. Started raining just as we put the tent up, but you know, all absolutely fine. Did a meet the brewer, myself and Jim, for Abbeydale yesterday evening. I went to look at the exotic parrots. That was a nice little interlude for my day.
They keep making very strange noises. They're quite aggressive parrots, I think.
This one was lovely. It just whistled at me, and then when I laughed at it, it laughed back, which was a little odd. But yeah, did the Meet the Brewer talk, and then just had quite a few beers last night. Today I've actually had to leave the festival for a few hours, which meant I missed the Beer O'Clock show talk, which I was pretty gutted about. However, I have been wedding dress shopping with my sister, and she said yes to a dress. Excellent. So it's been a roller coaster of a weekend so far, and now I'm back on the beer, so all good.
Any beers that particularly stood out for you so far this weekend?
I mean, I've drank a lot of Lucas, and on a day like this when it's sunny, it's always going to go down really well. I also tried last night the Vanilla Cavan County, which is the new Thornbridge Imperial Stout. I think they've got 3 different variations on. I missed the coconut one, unfortunately. But then I did get to try the vanilla, which was really good. Just super creamy, really full-bodied, just really nice. Glad I only had sort of a third of it, I think, just to try. And I wouldn't have wanted a pint. It's either 12 or 12.5%. I can't quite remember. So big beer, but really, really good.
Anything on the list that you've not tried so far that you're hoping to?
Well, I've just missed the North Pinata that I really wanted a pint of, so I'm hoping that'll come back on at some point later on.
I can tell you it was lovely. It was ever so nice. I had a pint of it. It was absolutely beautiful.
I'm trying.
It was like pure orange juice.
I'm trying in general not to get my heart set on beers because they're changing so quickly today. You can get in a queue with a beer in mind, and then by the time you're at the front it's gone, so I'm just kind of going with the flow and seeing what takes my fancy when I get to the front.
Adam, we've been joined by a new member of the Hopcast. You need to introduce us.
This is Penelope. She's 3 years old and she's wearing what's on your t-shirt, darling?
Hopcast.
Is it so? You've got the Hopcast half pint variety of the t-shirt. Are you having a nice day?
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
I went for a walk last time, and I'm going to my new nursery.
Okay, so you're going to see the nursery next week. Brilliant. Is it a good weather?
Yeah.
Having a nice time?
Yeah.
Mucky pub?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Any good beers that you've had? No, that's inappropriate, isn't it? That's not a question to ask a child. Right. Well, I'm going to go off in search of one of the Simons. So you've got the Simon that's the CEO and Simon that's the COO. There's a lot of O's in there. I'm going to try and find one of them to have a chat to about how the weekend's gone generally, and hopefully speak to them in a minute. It has just gone 6 o'clock in the evening. The sun's it's kind of creeping behind the hills, this dramatic sort of backdrop that we have here at Peakender. And I am sat with, a couple of guys that might know a thing or two about the event we've been at this weekend. If I can, I'll ask you both to introduce yourselves.
I'm Simon Walkden. I'm the COO of Thornbridge.
Jim Harrison, founder.
So you are pretty good people to talk to about how this weekend's gone. Yeah. So yesterday and today, quite different days. Yesterday was a lot quieter. It rained a little bit yesterday. And then today the weather has been phenomenal. Absolutely spot on beautiful. Tell us about your weekend experience here at Peakender.
Well, yesterday, as you said, the weather wasn't as great as today. Friday's normally a quieter day because you've got people arriving, putting tents up, easing themselves into the weekend. So yesterday for me was enjoying it, bit of socialising, chatting to people, going to a couple of the talks, enjoying a lot of the fantastic beers. And today I've done a podcast this morning, and then my first ever stint working behind a bar for an hour and a half, because it's been absolutely hammered, which is great for us, but it's, we've got so many people, as you can see today, just turned up. I'm tired today, but happy.
Jim, what about your weekend so far?
Well, if easing yourself in is what was going on about 10:30 last night in that tent, is like going crazy to the DJ and drinking, finishing off with one or two strong beers. I mean, I like the way people eased themselves in. Today's been fantastic. So many day visitors, so many good talks. People like Garrett Oliver have just held people spellbound in the tent doing tastings of his ghost bottles, and the other guys have been amazing too. So both bars, big queue sometimes, but we've got experts jumping in to help, like the CEO. Or COO, yeah. He's now a barman, par excellence. But no, we've got a good evening ahead of us. We've got good music on. We've had some good stuff already. The food's banging. Everyone's knocking really good stuff out. And tonight is going to be so different to last night in terms of temperature. So if anyone coming down late is going to have an amazing time, because I think the place is going to fill up again.
I mean, you must, way back when, many years ago, when you first started thinking about this, you must have moments now where you just look out over this field and just think, how did this happen? What the hell?
You're absolutely right. It's been a roller coaster, and to put an event like this on is just amazing. You know, we've got such a good team working so bloody hard. I mean, like Simon said, he did the bar earlier. I wouldn't even put myself back there because I'd just be a hindrance, because they're really on it. And people love the beers. I mean, we're just so grateful that people take the time, spend the money to come to an event like this, because it's about the beer. It's about people drinking the beer and enjoying it. And we've got like 125 beers on. We've got 15 brewers in, and it's amazing that I mean, I'm ancient now, and the change in the beer culture is astonishing and so enjoyable. The fact that you can just get such a range of different drinks these days. Beer, when people say I don't like beer, give me a break. How can you not like this thing called beer when it's like lemonade, some of it, beautifully done. And it's just an honour, actually, to have loads of people here. All these guys are so passionate about what they do. It's just amazing. I am blown away, as they say.
I can't sit at a table with you two guys and not ask this question, but what does the future have in store for Thornbridge?
I answered this question earlier, or tried to answer this question earlier in the podcast with you. I think, as I was saying before, you know, the beer market as a whole isn't growing, but the craft beer sector is, and it's just a great opportunity, to take advantage of that. I mean, it's very competitive, as you know. The number of breweries in this country, well north of 2,000 now, so there's a lot of competition there. But as I said before, it's all about just the quality of the beer. We're not going to compete with people by making beer cheaper, by doing things where we cut corners. So it's doing it with that integrity, and it's a challenge. And we have to invest money to grow the business. Every stage of a brewery's growth requires more tanks, new packaging facilities, a bottling line, canning line, whatever. And it's you take a gamble every time you make the next jump. So. Yeah, we're looking to grow again. We're getting more tanks later on this year, and we're looking at a canning line to add to our bottling line. So that's the short-term plan.
Jules from Hop Hideout put you on the spot a little bit earlier on, where she asked you to decide what if Thornbridge was a band, what band would it be? If Jaipur was a song, what song would it be? I'm maybe not quite as dramatically, but I'm also going to put you on the spot a little bit now and ask you what your favourite beer that you've had so far this weekend has been. That's a question to both of you. Got Jim first?
Well, I'll take it first because I'm not going to answer it. When people always ask about favourite beer, I always say it's about time and place. And my favourite beer this weekend could have been the 14% stout last night when it was freezing bloody cold, or it could have been the Green Mountain, which is freezing cold and very hoppy, when it was super sunny this afternoon. It's about time and place, and I've had some really great beers from lots of great brewers, and so I'm not going to answer you. It's time and place for me.
So that's a good answer. Now, Simon, now you've got to actually give a direct answer to that.
Can I not just say, well, I've been working, so I've not had time to taste it, and I can't really, can I?
That would be
that would be like... It's going to sound really bad because it's one of our beers, but to be honest, because we were here so long yesterday, I wanted to make sure that I was as steady as I could have been, and maybe that didn't work out in the end, but the one which has done incredibly well for us, and I really enjoyed drinking it yesterday, was Green Mountain. I think we did 22 kegs. We're doing a keg every half an hour. And just, I think that style of beer, session strength, just really fresh, hoppy and nice. And tonight, hopefully, I'll get to try a few of other people's beers a little bit more. But yeah, that's the one for me so far. I'm sorry it's one of ours, but I'll give you a different answer later, hopefully.
I think that's a fair answer, to be fair. I think Green Mountain's been one of the standout beers. It's been absolutely beautiful. And such a low percentage as well for what it is in that style. A spot-on beer for this kind of weekend. Guys, thank you very much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure. And, there's still a day and a bit to go. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
The sun has definitely set. It's been a great weekend. It's been a lovely weekend. I've had a great time. Adam, what about you?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. If you look around yourself, it's like a 360 of beautiful, nice rolling hills with like trees. Like you would imagine if you had a little train set that you spent lots of money in Beatties by little trees. Yeah, brilliant. The Liberty ship, nice little band's finished. I think we might have one more band left to go. It's 8 o'clock at night. The temperature's dropped a little bit, but like a really nice kind of settling in. Some of the kids have gone back. Mine's gone to get pyjamas on, so might be returning. But the bar is improved. You can now get to the bar in maybe 10 minutes. So I'm now nursing Siren, half of their suspended an equinot, and on the other side I'm nursing half of a Brooklyn sour. So like some two beers never even heard of.
Are you in a better position now to pick out your best beer of the weekend? Because earlier it would have been Jaipur on the basis of the fact that you've only drunk Jaipur.
I don't know yet. I've still got a little bit tomorrow, I think. But so far, it's really nice to get some Florida Vice in. I know we've had it and we've been championing that for a while now. But to be honest, this Siren Craft is really good. Suspended Equinox is tasting really, really nice. It's about 4% as well, which is kind of a hazy session IPA, which is quite enjoying.
Overall, good weekend?
So far, yeah. Get his heads down tonight, maybe a few beers tomorrow. Back to school on Monday.